clash between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua has ignited a firestorm among fighters and analysts. Nearly everyone in the professional boxing world leans heavily toward Joshua, pointing to his size, explosive strength, and years of top-tier heavyweight experience. His Olympic background and track record of knockouts make him the overwhelming favorite, while Paul has shown progress collecting wins over MMA names and developing fringe boxers. He's never stepped in with a genuine elite heavyweight. Experts say Paul's only hope is to land something unexpected early, but Joshua's measured style and sharp jab would likely smother that chance. Many insiders predict Joshua would finish the fight in dominating fashion within just a few rounds. As much as fans enjoy the spectacle, the majority of pros expect Joshua to run away with it.
To Nikisa a few times on it. I mean, there's nothing to report to you that it's close or, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. Of course, AJ is exclusive to DAZN. We also work very closely with His Excellency, and although we have no contract with him, we're in talks for big fights next year, of course, Tyson Fury being one of them. So we'd definitely give him the respect of making sure that he was aware of the plan and, part of that plan as well. But at the moment, there's nothing major to report on that. Would we take the fight? Absolutely. I think Jake would be... I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signed to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, because AJ wouldn't mess around in there, so it would be huge, but nothing, to tell you it's close.
Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua are now officially locked in for December 19, 2025, taking the stage at the CASSA Center in Miami with Netflix broadcasting worldwide. This isn't a showcase match, it's a fully regulated heavyweight contest. Under standard Queensberry rules, 8 rounds, 3 minutes each, with 10-ounce gloves. In a surprising twist, Joshua agreed to cap his weight at 245 pounds, considerably lighter than his usual fighting weight, aiming to narrow the physical gap. Both fighters put their professional records at risk, and with full sanctioning in place, knockdowns and knockouts are absolutely in play.
It's really happening. Jake Paul will face the 2-time unified heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua on Friday, December the 19th in Miami, Florida. It's going to be an 8-round fight with 3-minute rounds and 10-ounce gloves. It's Joshua's first fight since being knocked out by Daniel Dubois in September last year. Jake Paul won a unanimous decision against veteran Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. earlier this year. Well, Jake Paul said this: a professional heavyweight fight against an elite world champion in his prime. When I beat Anthony Joshua, every doubt disappears and no one can deny me the opportunity to fight for a world title. To all my haters, this is what you wanted. To the people of the United Kingdom.
Within the boxing world, the reaction to Jake Paul aiming for Anthony Joshua has been heated. A large portion of fans and industry voices feel Paul is biting off more than he can possibly chew by stepping up against a seasoned heavyweight veteran. Many view the move as overly bold and far beyond his current level.
That's right, the real deal respond to me as I tweeted my thoughts about delusion, which again, I think is more about what Jake said about Anthony Joshua and what he'll do to him. That was the more delusional aspect of this. Amanda Serrano said, at Jake Paul is the truth. Funny, they say he's a fraud for wanting easy fights. Then he asked for the toughest fights ever, and they say he's nuts. Listen, he was scheduled to fight Canelo Gervonta, and now he's calling out Joshua. Come on, who else is doing this? Oh, crap, on second thought, he is out of his freaking mind. You're right. That was more of just Amanda backing her guy, you know what I'm saying, the co-founder of MVP and someone that...
Dave Allen has issued a serious caution regarding Joshua accepting this matchup. He argues that Joshua is in a no-win situation if Paul even connects cleanly once. It could cast doubt on Joshua's entire legacy. Allen insists this fight leans far more toward entertainment than legitimate sporting merit, and he questions whether Joshua would genuinely want to risk his reputation like this. He says hardcore boxing followers might see the bout as a needless downgrade for Joshua, one that could cost him a measure of respect for agreeing to face a social media turn boxer.
Lost to Tommy Fury. Anthony Joshua cannot box Jake Paul. Horrific. He's dangerous for one, and two, If Jake Paul even lands a glove on him, it just diminishes everything that he's achieved. Jake Paul won't last 2 minutes for me. Never mind Anthony Joshua. It's ridiculous. It's a joke.
If AJ does say yes to going in against Jake Paul, does he harm his legacy?
I would lose a bit of respect for him, and I think a lot of boxing people would as well, to be honest. Why would he box him? 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, one of the best heavyweights the last 20 years, held British boxing on his back. People might say he deserves to box Jake Paul. But why though? Why would he do it?
Did you lose respect from when he fought in Ngannou? Did you lose respect from Fury when he fought in Ngannou?
Ngannou's a serious fighting man. World champion in the mixed martial arts.
It's a worrying thing, potentially, the damage that AJ could do to Jake Paul.
He'll hurt him. Yeah, Jake Paul is a cruiserweight. You wouldn't put the Midlands area cruiserweight champion in with Anthony Joshua. So why would you put Jake Paul in that? Just because he's a superstar, whatever. I don't know what he does. What does he do? What is he?
A YouTuber.
It's just not worth it. He's got enough money as it is. Why risk all that for a few more quid? I don't like it. I hope it...
Because this fight is expected to be a fully sanctioned bout, Roy Jones Jr. has pushed back strongly against the idea of Jake Paul ever becoming a legitimate world title holder. He doesn't believe Paul has proven himself against opponents who have endured true championship-level wars. Jones argues that once Paul competes with battle-tested pros, those fighters would overwhelm him. While Jones acknowledges Paul might reach a title opportunity someday, he believes it would only happen under unusually favorable conditions. He remains unconvinced that Paul will ever walk away with the real belt.
Jake Paul will become a world champion? No. Why?
I think if they make him fight tough opponents, guys with experience, those guys will be. Now, if you catch somebody like myself at the end of their career, or somebody like Tyson and Lee Carter in their career, the chances are much higher. Because now it becomes more of a 50-50. You got a guy who's better than him, but the age factor. You understand me? And that's the only way to balance it for him to make it a 50-50 fight. Yeah. Somebody who's on his level at the same age, those guys have too much experience. Yeah. You understand me? So he's not going to beat those guys. But you find a guy who is past his prime, who has a mentality further than his, but past their prime, it kind of evens.
Anthony Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has repeatedly dismissed Paul's skill level, calling him a mid-tier fighter at best. Hearn consistently questions whether Paul possesses the ability required to compete with elite heavyweights, especially someone with Joshua's pedigree. Although he recognizes Paul's development over the years, he believes Paul is still nowhere close to the standard necessary to threaten top-level contenders.
Paul good for the sport of boxing?
Yes, I know these guys. They're unbelievably bright. I mean, Logan, much brighter than Jake, in my opinion. But Jake's smart.
Okay.
We have our ups and downs. Yeah. I respect Jake. I actually respect him in a boxing sense as well. But we fell out because I told him he was average. That's actually a compliment. Like, to be an average fighter, coming to this kid who's 26, 27, decides to go into boxing. We had a conversation where he's actually telling me he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. And I'm looking around for cameras. I'm thinking, am I mic'd up?